Taking the lessons from a loss is vital, but it's not always fun. Reminding yourself how and why you won points is just as important, as it helps create a roadmap for future success. It's time for a much more uplifting point analysis: how we won 5 points. Finding order in chaos is one of the toughest parts of playing pickleball at any level. When balls start flying and players start switching positions, whether by choice or by chance, it can easily cause a moment of panic.
Nice poach, he's moving over, up.
Good coverage, great.
Rip the middle.
In this first point, I've returned the ball deep to Joey, who drives it right back at me. Adam had disconnected from his partner early in the hopes to anticipate my most likely response volley, back to the deepest player. I wasn't comfortable redirecting the ball down the line, given that the contact height of the volley was below the height of the net, so the best I could do for our team was not overplay the volley and risk giving Adam a high enough ball to really attack. Although Adam did get what he wanted, a ball to poach on, it was too low to do more than just a flick backhand. Tyson, aware of the oncoming threat of a poaching player, does a good job of backing up a step to allow for some extra reaction time to calm the body and play a controlled volley into the then open court. You'll notice Joey hesitated for a moment, unsure if he should play back up or if he should immediately switch. He's fast enough to retrieve the ball, but by that time the two players are separated by almost 20 feet. It's too wide for me not to take a chance on a rolling volley through the middle. In summary, this point came down to staying calm under the pressure of a rapidly moving opponent and not being afraid to attack a low ball when there is a large enough gap between the two players.
So he's spread eagle on the non-volley zone line on the sideline.
He is.
Nice lob, useful lob, great return from the lob. See?
In this next point, after a solid serve and an even better return, Tyson and I do it by the book with a cross-court third shot drop that Joey takes off the bounce. Tyson plans his mid-court split step well and controls a fifth shot drop volley almost to perfection. I watch the ball off his paddle, and as soon as I could see that the trajectory was a little high, I back up, preparing for an aggressive volley to come at me, which it does. Getting low and staying calm enough to drop the ball back from a weak position allows us to level the playing field and engage in some dinking warfare. I'm fed a few dinks and use similar technique for each. This helps when I display the same body language, but soon elect to play a down-the-line lob on a ball that is wide enough for me to get over Joey's backhand side. At this point, we have successfully turned the tables, and after a couple of powerful forehands and a little help from the net, the point is ours. What won the point here started with good decision-making in the land of opportunity, using drops and block volleys. I disguised my lob well enough not to give my opponent a head start, and also played over his backhand side to minimize the risk of a powerful overhead. The rest was just icing on the cake.
Yourself a lob, forcing Morgan to return a shot that they easily put away. Looking for the mistake, looking for the ball that's a little too, there you go.
In this third point, we do it by the book once again, but this time with a little twist. We had noticed that Joey had made a few dink errors so far in the match, but typically never when he was in good rhythm. To test this theory, we decided to play the third ball and every subsequent ball to Adam. We weren't doing this because we thought Adam was the weaker player, but rather to see if we could kind of lull Joey's feet to sleep. As Joey was the only one left out of the whole rally, slowly he becomes less active, at which point Tyson plays a fairly routine dink to his left foot. He was effectively iced into poor contact on a ball that he would normally make 99% of the time. The first lesson here is you don't always have to win, but you should always look for ways to help your opponents lose. If you believe a player to be showing weakness, or you just think they are the weaker player, don't fall into the trap of hitting to them so often that they find their rhythm. Icing that player and then sporadically giving them the ball will test not just their skill, but their nerve and patience also.
That net is very solid. Oh. Can you steal it? Anticipation, yes.
Yep.
There's number 2, 3.
Great defense.
Change of pace, mixing it, resetting.
Reset the ball.
Look at them moving around like cats on the court.
Oh man.
They're cheetahs.
They're panthers.
Panthers, yes.
All they're looking for is, as guys say, a ball that's just a little too high.
It's juicy that they're going to rip it. Exactly. That was a little too early.
Well, this next point didn't start out to plan certainly, but we found our footing eventually. A high third ball led to some awkward defense, an ambitious poach, a left-handed get out of jail from yours truly, before we finally settled into a dink exchange. The important point here was the emotional state of our opponents. They were winning this rally. They had real opportunities to finish it and cause a side out. Once we scrambled our way back into the point, it was difficult for them to let go of the idea that they were still in command of the point. There was a natural letdown and the urge to make up for it with a high-risk, high-reward shot that was too tempting. I played the good old bait ball, a ball just high enough to encourage a player in heat to attack. The key was, it was also just wide enough of Adam to stretch his arm out to make contact. That full-stretched arm was loaded with power and he overhit it long. The keys to this point was firstly fighting hard to stay alive. We were dead in the water without good defense. Once we got settled into a dink rally, we knew that given the letdown that they would be feeling being so close to ending it, that this 1 point was now worth more than 1 point, and a brave player will likely make a bold decision, one that could cost him the point.
And against the wind.
Yeah. Even the surface, the court surface.
Oh yes, the red's easier to play than the
Yeah.
white because visually they can see the ball better
Yeah.
in the red than they can the white.
There you
Oh
go.
yes.
The last point we're looking at today starts with a solid deep serve from McGuffin, setting up a driving opportunity after a short return. Adam dealt with the drive, but it allowed a very easy transition up to the kitchen line. Some fairly basic dinking emerges between all 4 players until Joey plays a low volley dink high enough and directed to my forehand side. This ball gives me all the time I need to disguise my intention. I do my best to sell them on the idea that I'm either going to attack or dink down the line. Regardless, both players start shifting their body weight to their left. This opens up Joey's sideline for a rolling dink that drags him off the court and slightly off balance, opening up some space for Tyson to attack. Noticing that Adam's paddle is very low, he elects to shoot for the right shoulder, a deadly spot for most players to defend. A short pop-up and a relaxed overhead puts us on the board for the start of Game 2. What won this point started with a great serve and drive from Tyson, setting up an easy transition forward. No one was feeling comfortable keeping their dinks particularly low in this, the first point after the side switch. I held my disguise just long enough to get my opponents moving in the wrong direction, opening up space and opportunity for Tyson to attack.
Well, that certainly felt better. I hope it was as good for you as it was for me. Today we looked at just a handful of ways we can win points. The 2 things they had in common were good footwork and good shot selection, the backbones of consistency. If you'd like some of your play analyzed, shoot us an email at info@coachmepickleball.com for more details. Who knows, if it's entertaining enough, maybe we'll make a lesson out of it. Stay safe, everyone.